Ever since I compiled my thoughts on each individual Doctor and ranked them accordingly in a previous video, I've wanted to do a ranking of the modern and classic Doctor Who series and seasons respectively. And so today I'll be doing just that. I will be ranking the modern / New Who Doctor's eras and really just explaining why and how I feel certain ways about each series. So without further ado, if you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will get into the ranking. Okay, we're only just beginning and it was already hard to make this decision. In the final spot on this list is the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston's era. Now, I personally love the Ninth Doctor. If you've watched my Doctor ranking video, then you will know I have a particular fancy for the Ninth Doctor. He made a pretty high position on my list. That said, my favorite Doctors don't equal my favorite eras, and just with how short Christopher Eccleston's tenure as the Doctor was, and just the little experience we got of him on TV, I can't say that I particularly enjoyed this era as much as others. However, I also think that if we were to have seen more of Christopher Eccleston's Doctor on TV, he would undoubtedly have been in my top 3. So this is kind of a weird ranking for me, and I don't really feel it deserves this position. However, in great hindsight and having rewatched New Who very recently, Series 1 just doesn't stand out to me as much anymore. And for that reason alone, I am very sorry, Christopher Eccleston. You're a great Doctor, and I love you as a Doctor, but your era just isn't it for me. It started everything, but I have to be honest. Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor's era, is next on the list. Now, this is an era that I've had wildly contrasting and various views on over the years. Initially, Series 5 is what stopped me from watching Doctor Who. That's what forced me away from the show until Peter Capaldi took over the role of the Doctor. However, once I returned to Doctor Who and gave the rest of Matt Smith's era a go, I found myself to have really enjoyed Series 6 and 7, and to this day, they remain my favorite parts of Matt Smith's era, and they grow on me every day. I think it was something about the bubbly charisma and that weird sort of young persona of Series 5 Matt Smith that really put me off from the role. While I still enjoy Series 5 quite a lot, and I think it has some amazing stories, I like Victory of the Daleks and Amy's Choice, it just doesn't measure up to Series 6 and 7 for me, which is what I really expect from Doctor Who, which is this sort of experimental, not afraid to take risks sort of storytelling. This is why the latter half of Series 6, like the finale with The Wedding of River Song, really stand out as great stories to me and really appeal to me more as a Doctor Who staple. Unlike Series 5, which I feel doesn't leave its own mark and come into its own towards the Pandorica Opens and The Big Bang, the finale episodes, the latter two series, while a bit more controversial, feel a lot more consistent for me, and as such, I find myself enjoying them just a bit more. However, not enough to warrant them a higher place on this list, unfortunately. Among all others, Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor's tenure as the Doctor, is the most divisive. Even now, I'm sure there's a bunch of internet crusaders ready to crucify me for even daring to rank Jodie above Matt Smith. But the thing is, I just hugely enjoy watching Jodie's era. It's sort of a comfort series for me, Series 11, 12, 13, and all the specials. Much like how Harry Potter and Pirates of the Caribbean are a very comforting series for me at certain times, Jodie's era is just like that for me, and whilst she isn't particularly my favorite Doctor, and of course did rank rather low on my Doctor Who ranking video, I simply enjoy Jodie's tenure more than your average person, and that's okay. That's good. You gotta remember who the people that you used to be. No, I'm just kidding. I just enjoy Jodie's time as the Doctor, even with all its downfalls, of which there are many. And I mean many. But still, the good that exists, like Rosa and Kablam and the Witchfinders and a couple other stories that I just find really entertaining and I love in a way, Jodie's era is just more of a standout to me than Matt's, even though I kind of value Matt's more. It's hard to put the words to the feeling, but that's just how I feel. Jodie's era is ranked above Matt's, and that's my opinion at the end of the day. David Tennant, the 10th Doctor's era of Doctor Who, is one that, irregardless of my feelings at any particular time, is hugely nostalgic and meaningful to me. I am literally sympathetic to every single David Tennant story we get. I could go on a 10th Doctor watching spree and just not stop with it and probably not be bored. Some of the best of Doctor Who in its existence comes from the 10th Doctor and from David Tennant's portrayal of the Doctor. Stories like the two-part Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead and Planet of the Ood and Fires of Pompeii and The Girl in the Fireplace are some of my most favorite stories of all time, not just in NuWho but in all of Doctor Who as it is. David Tennant brought such pomp and power to the role, and it's had a lasting impact, nay, an everlasting impact, and thus it's no surprise that we're seeing him return as the 14th Doctor in 2023. Much like Tom Baker is the classic era, David Tennant is the face of modern Doctor Who and has very much become the institution of Doctor Who itself. And for that reason, and for having grown up and still massively enjoying series 2, 3, and 4, David Tennant, the 10th Doctor's era, is second place on this list. Well, it's no surprise who the first place is. It's Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor. Irrespective of the fact that Peter Capaldi is my second favourite Doctor, his era just feels the most doctory of all the modern Doctors. The 12th Doctor alone is the perfect balance of dark and gritty and aggressive and hostile, yet he's also lighthearted and charming and carries this role of space granddad that just pervades his every move, and it really just feels doctory, kind of like it harkens back to the first Doctor. Unlike David Tennant's 10 being very human, the 12th Doctor is a very alien Doctor, seemingly very dysfunctional and disconnected from human social expectations and cues. At the same time, he's also the antithesis of Matt Smith's 11, who starts off as very open and charismatic and becomes darker as time goes on. He begins darker and grumpier and really comes to blossom and really open up to the world again. Besides the Doctor himself, series 8, 9, and 10 are just some of the best Doctor Who in my opinion. The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar, Under the Lake Before the Flood, Extremis, The Pyramid at the End of the World, Lie of the Land. There are just so many 12th Doctor stories that I absolutely love, are at the top of my list in every category. Even some of the specials like Return of Dr. Mysterio, which upon rewatching I actually found I love a lot. There's just nothing I hate about the 12th Doctor's tenure at all. Sure, I didn't like Series 8 a whole bunch, but Series 9 and Series 10 are the best modern Doctor Who has ever been, in my opinion. And frankly, I don't think any other Doctor's era will ever come closer to Peter's for me. That's, you could say, the thick of it. Thank you so much for watching this video and for listening to my opinions. If you disagree with this ranking, please tell me in the comments below how you would rank it, or if you agree, do the same. I'd love to sport friendly discussions among the community. Of course, more videos on the way soon, and as always, Malonzi.